Grease, along with the Beatles, are some of the most overrated things on planet Earth.
Absolutely.
And that's not even a question.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I do like the last song though.
Gab, it's literally fucking trash.
Well, I'm not saying the movie. I'm saying the last song, not the Nicholas Sparks novel. I mean, like the last song.
What the fuck is the Nicholas Sparks novel?
The Miley Cyrus movie.
Nope.
Which one?
No,
The last
not
song?
familiar.
The last song.
Not familiar with it.
It is. We've got to.
Try to be.
We have a creepy. We have a creepy
it's
guest in the
it's
background.
very-
It's not working. It is. Andres, give us a 1-2.
That's
Yeah, it's working. I can see your little things moving. It just doesn't sound very loud.
that
over
is not a ghost for anyone wondering. We're not being hijacked.
Yeah, you are in fact hearing four voices.
Four voices tonight.
Wow.
And welcome to the show. This is Ram, Gab, Angelo, and our very special guest, Andres.
Welcome
Say hello,
to the
everyone.
Couch, Andres.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
Wow. We are a few episodes away from our 1-year anniversary, Gab, right?
Yeah.
We're like actually 5 or 6 episodes away from
Are we?
Yes.
So we'll just tease that for 5 weeks.
We'll just tease it for 5 weeks.
5 weeks, yeah. Go ahead.
November
Okay, cool.
5th is a long time away.
What I was going to say was this is our last summer-ish episode because next week, technically,
we
transition to the fall Halloween episodes of the
Which will be
Waverly
short.
podcast.
Sure.
Which really are just the same episodes. We just talk more about Halloween stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
There's no change to our format. It's
No,
just
nothing
more-
changes. We're all the same.
Just spookier.
It's all the same shit.
It is a little bit spookier.
We've got a lot of things to talk about today, guys.
All right.
Let me...
Ready for the menu?
honestly, the first thing that we want to talk about is actually a very sad thing. It's a sad thing, but then it also isn't a sad thing because
Let me see if I
today
care.
there
What-
was a change.
What is the
What
sad
is
thing?
what
'Cause
is
I'm
a
not sure if I'm going to care.
sadness?
We're going to start with this first. But that didn't work either, so we're fucked.
Oh boy,
Off to a great,
an arousing start.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I know where this
And there it is.
I know where this is going.
We're talking about here the death of a good friend of ours.
Was it though?
A great friend of ours, Movie Pass.
I had no.
Jesus Christ, man! I was actually worried that I missed something.
I had no problem saying goodnight to that.
Movie Pass was officially canceled, or killed, died. The company, yes, the company.
But
It went out of business,
All right,
correct?
yeah, but I'm
But-
sorry. When it gets to the point when
Yes.
you're not letting people cancel their memberships,
Yeah.
it was a valiant effort.
That
valiant
their
effort.
They
last
clung
run
to life.
The last run of theirs when they were not letting people change their passwords so that they could keep their memberships alive was just the final blow.
that was a low ball.
in a super interesting life of a company that I think changed movie-going for a lot of people.
Well, it was the MySpace to like what?
Yeah, because you think about now, all the movie theaters now have this Movie Pass type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, because now, like, yeah, Movie Pass died, but that is what gave birth to things as beneficial as the AMC Stubs Pass that you can get downloaded onto your phone.
Correct, and that is going to be the only plug that we give them today.
Damn it!
Are you sure? Because I got like two more.
I
That was
actually
gonna
had a
go
couple
we're
of
not-
singers in there.
no,
I
we're-
made some tunes.
I'm
Ron.
not giving any more freebies.
Ron,
No,
I'm
not
just
giving
saying-
any more
I'm
freebies.
just saying,
no.
like,
AMC theaters themselves have some absolutely scrumptious
no.
food options at their food
I
court
mean,
now.
if you want like a good like small mini burger, you can get them at AMC, like kind of like AMC. Come and see, like kind of like that.
They have this crispy chicken slider. Wow. Not to mention the spicy chicken tacos, which is the AMC featured
Right.
snack of the
Right.
month. Just
Makes
blow
sense.
blow you away. Knock your socks
You want
off.
some
good.
nachos?
They got it all.
Yeah.
And the Stubs gives you rewards points, guys. So you
I
can
already
get,
got
like,
$10 in
free food.
rewards
Guys,
somehow.
guys.
AMC, get at us.
I usually just sneak my food in.
Why,
God damn it.
we're not gonna get a sponsorship with that type of
from-
stuff.
I know.
He is
From
not
Sequel.
affiliated.
We're going to get fucking rejected.
His
before-
views are not of this podcast.
The only theater I attend is not an AMC theater, so
Theater.
He's.
What
Yeah,
theater do
he-
you go to?
I think he's a Regal head.
Damn, you're a Regal dude.
I forget.
Lights flicker at Regals.
It's down by
Nice, nice. Really badge the competition.
the theater we went to see.
That's that
Beast and Where to Find Them.
that one is that one is a that one
Oh,
is
shit. That was a good theater.
yeah that
Damn
one's
it.
a Regal. That one's a Regal.
That thing was so spacious.
I'm pretty sure it's a Regal.
It's got the nicest bathrooms in America.
I mean, look, a bathroom is a public bathroom is very important in an establishment.
Better than Short Hills Mall, Andres?
Way better.
Wow, that's a lot. That's saying a lot.
Quality. Quality. Well, I'm talking quality.
Yes, because the key to a good theater is indeed its bathroom.
Well, of course, if you have to go in the middle of a movie or something, you want to be able
No,
to get in
I
there
will hold
quick.
it. I will never get
I-
up from a movie to go to the bathroom. I refuse.
I did that for Hustlers.
I saw you get up. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
That'll transition us into talking about Hustlers since
That's
that's what
good,
we
yeah.
saw this weekend.
Let's do that.
Good
Our-
segue. Good segue. Good drop. Good connect the dot.
Our first review of this episode will be for the movie Hustler with J Lo, Cardi
Constance
B,
Wu. Like, he doesn't know any of the rest of
Constance
the
Wu.
Woo is
Lizzo.
Yeah, those made an appearance in there. I think the girl from Riverdale, is that who she was? Does everyone seen Riverdale?
I don't know. I don't know.
The blonde.
Yeah, I don't know her name.
The one that's going out with one of those
Betty or whatever her name is.
Betty,
Yeah.
I think she's
Right.
in Hustlers. I think that was her.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Annabelle?
What the hell's
whatever her name, Abigail. Isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. This is
In the movie, I just knew her Throw Up Girl.
Yeah, look,
Yeah, she was actually hilarious.
Sprout, I think that's his name.
Is it Cole Sprout?
yeah.
Guys, we need to get some
look it up.
we need to get some actor lists
Yeah,
in here
no,
when we're
yeah,
going to talk
this
about
is-
the movies.
This is
Well,
not
I
good.
didn't really think we were going to go into. I don't think we were going to go into the details of the supporting cast.
Yeah, I know. All right, listen. Hustlers. It's a movie about these strippers that decide to expand from just stripping and making money doing that.
Lily Reinert.
That's her name. Okay. So they go into the business of drugging rich Wall Street guys and basically using their credit cards and all that bullshit to basically milk them dry.
And they were getting away with it.
They were
too.
getting away with it. They did a good job. Look, the movie is the first. I would say the first third of the movie. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it starts off with them and their lives in the strip club.
Yeah.
So obviously, like the music is great. The dancing is incredible.
I was gonna say, like, I think this had a really outstanding soundtrack from start to finish.
J Lo. I mean, Jesus Christ.
What can you say about her?
I was
J
straight
Lo
for 5 minutes.
J Lo
watching J.Lo dance.
looked fucking ridiculous. There's no way that this woman is 50 years old.
Good
Yeah,
for
I mean, that's
A-Rod,
crazy.
man.
Like, good, yeah, great for A-Rod. I mean, that's awesome.
Keeps winning on.
She
and
has
off the
this
field.
one scene where
Okay,
she's
let's.
where she's just showing her how to dance, and it's just her on the stage by herself,
People are throwing money.
and it's just like Jesus, man.
It was-
like-
that was
wait.
very-
The part where she's performing, where she's teaching her how to dance.
well, there's two scenes, but
Right.
she's
The
by
one-
herself basically.
The
on
one
both.
that the one
Like,
that
she's
she
on the
first,
stage by herself.
But one is giving everyone boners, and the other one's just like.
He's talking about the boner one.
You can still get a boner from the second one.
I'm
guys.
sorry. The second one, I was like, "Oh, that's a very interesting. The Peter Pan, that's really great." But the first one, I was like, "I'm feeling things I've never."
I mean,
felt
she's
before.
in like a G-string basically, which is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yes.
in the when she was teaching the
No,
girl how to
in
dance.
the first scene.
Oh yeah, in the first
Yeah.
one.
When you
when
actually get
money.
introduced to Ramona.
Yeah, when you get
Yes.
introduced to Ramona, and, like,
Yes.
Ramona, and then the dollar bills and the Fiona Apple songs playing. I'm
Yeah.
in my
Yeah,
seat
yeah,
like.
I tell you
is
what, the
happening
Fiona
to
Apple
me?
song was a nice touch.
It was fire. It was fire. I mean,
I actually want to rewatch that scene over and over and
Yeah,
over and
yeah,
over.
it
again.
was
Like,
really
what the
fucking good.
fuck?
Constance Wu was good in it.
That sounds like there's a heavy butt coming right
Yeah,
now.
was
I
waiting
just
for the
like,
butt.
I don't know. I just feel like they could have gotten somebody a little better. I hated her bangs.
Wow.
The
Her
bangs
bangs were
did.
trash.
The bangs did irritate me a bit.
You
The
know what,
bangs
guys? You're
were
absolutely
trash.
right. Her performance means nothing because of those bangs.
No, but when she didn't have
Totally
when,
fair.
when she's
Absolutely.
talking with Julia Stiles for
Yeah.
whatever article, she looked good because her hair was done
right.
a little
The
differently.
bangs really just took me out of any scene she was in
Yes, absolutely. No,
because
totally agree.
she looked so shitty. that I'm like, you know what? Like, it
her
just doesn't.
hair sucked so bad that that.
He's already
performance.
telling you
you're
right now that the hair's going to cost this movie a point.
Yeah,
Full point right off the
100%.
fucking
Oh
bat.
man, yeah. I love the age of feminism on this show. Absolutely.
Nah, I mean, she did. No, she did a good job.
The movie was
yeah.
really funny too.
It was hilarious. You guys were mentioning before there's one of the strippers that continues along with them along the ride of like becoming these like thieves basically and criminals.
Which one, Mercedes?
The blonde one.
Oh, Annabelle or whatever.
She is hysterical because she does this little thing where she like throws
Throws
up
up. Every
Keeps
single
throwing
time
up.
she's
Anytime
nervous,
there's an ounce of like
pressure.
pressure.
Of, like,
like,
yeah, every time they're doing something slightly. I mean, everything is illegal, but every time they look like they're about to get caught or something
anytime
is going to go wrong.
Anytime the blood pressure ticks a little bit, she's
she's
throwing
just
up.
throwing up, and that's obviously that kind of comedy is hilarious.
It also and actually now that I'm thinking about it, we only ever see J-Lo as Ramona perform something as a stripper.
What do you mean?
Constance Wu, the blonde throw-up girl, and the other girl, I never saw them do anything on a pole really or perform. Like they're at the club, they're at the strip club.
The only one that
not,
performs is J-Lo.
Is J-Lo.
Yeah, well,
no
and
one
then
else does.
Even when like J-Lo, like in the beginning when she's teaching her the ropes, if you
Yeah.
will. Like what's her face?
Cardi B is in it, but she doesn't say anything.
No, she has
she
some
doesn't-
lines,
no,
but
no,
she
she
doesn't
doesn't do anything. Yeah.
She kicked the girl out of the way is all what she really did.
Like it really is.
J-Lo was like, remember like when they're in there with the big Wall Street tycoon and stuff, and like she's basically undressing Constance Wu. Constance isn't doing shit. She's just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
J-Lo is the one who really does.
Yeah.
facilitate
is selling
everything.
the whole thing.
Nobody does anything. J-Lo is the one that was fully trained for this. Fully, like, they were ready.
On
like,
the pole.
This is J-Lo's movie, basically, and they're just going to have everybody kind of look around as part of,
Yeah.
like, these side characters, but this is J-Lo's movie. I mean, obviously, Constance Wu is the main character.
Is the main character, but like this is her movie.
J-Lo's
Yeah, this is
movie.
J-Lo's
100%.
movie. Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Also, I also want to really give, but for the two only scenes we got of like stripperness, which was both J-Lo, is that I really like the touch that when she's teaching Constance Wu, I forgot her Destiny had to like do the pole.
Yeah.
That they're playing classical music while they're doing it.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
You probably didn't because it was J-Lo on a pole.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at
That's
all.
why I'm on this couch for my gayness and my
Yeah, I didn't
ability
notice that at
to
all.
dodge these kinds of hypnotisms. I mean,
for several moments.
For
yeah.
several-
You did go. You did say you went
yeah,
straight,
but
Gab.
in the context of the scene, that it worked.
Sure.
Like that was like the definition of sexy. That you
Yeah, it was
forget
great,
how
it
to
was great.
think, and you're just like
It was just
completely.
great. I was
taking it
mesmerized. I was mesmerized.
The dollar bills, the like
Everything,
the
yeah,
ass,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing. I was
The
like,
perfect
what
slow-mo in the perfect
the
moments.
fuck?
Just overall very well done.
was
Okay,
well-
let's move on from that specific.
Sorry.
scene.
Or yeah. Anyway,
probably
so
spent
the
an hour
movie,
on it.
Yeah, the
Dissect-
movie.
I really wish, just like a side note, I really wish that pole dancing was more respected because that thing looks hard. It's a full body
does.
workout.
I tell you
hard,
what,
yeah.
I think it had its moments a few years ago where it was kind of almost like, yeah, this is a great workout. Come out and pole dance. It was almost
It almost
It
made
was
it to
almost
mainstream.
accepted.
It
It was
almost
almost
made it
accepted.
mainstream. It almost made it
Yeah.
mainstream.
Should've made
But
me
hey,
something
it
like
should be.
because that makes
Um,
jacked.
The
bodies.
movie,
Yeah.
the movie to me, I mean, if we're gonna go a little bit negative here, because I guess we can't go too much good with that's on bad. As soon as the movie transitions from all of them at the strip club to them doing the crime shit, I think that's where it took a turn for me.
That's what I wrote in my review. Yeah, it's like and you said at the beginning.
The
that's
the last scene, the scene where Usher comes into the strip club, and they're all like, "Holy shit! You know, this is Usher.
Honestly,
this is awesome,
Great cameo by Usher.
phenomenal."
his
phenomenal.
music, and it was such a great celebration. Then again, it's kind of like it also touches base with reality, where it's
Yeah.
like, of course, everything starts to turn to shit once the financial crisis hits. Like we
Yeah.
all remember it.
That was real.
But it's true. The first third, like I even said, like when we were leaving the movie, I was like, "This feels like a modern rated R Coyote Ugly."
Yeah.
Like there was
Fair.
something so communal and
Right.
like helping each other out. It's not PG-13, it's R, so they could be more like unfiltered about their shit.
Right.
Cardi B in any scene she was in, everyone and myself included was laughing their ass off. I thought she was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I wanted her to. She was kind
She
of like
actually-
the Tyra Banks equivalent
honestly-
for Coyote Ugly. For
Honestly,
this one.
she did a really good job of just being herself.
Being
Yeah,
herself, exactly.
Which is all she had to do.
Come on, man. Come on, dog.
No, she was good, man. She was good.
She was
No,
so
she was
good.
good. She was good. She was
hilarious.
perfectly the perfect role for what she is, and that's just she's perfect for what the role
like
was.
her and Lizzo aren't in this film for more than like maybe 5 minutes total combined.
Combined, yeah.
So like
combined,
they
that was it.
in their appearances, they made the most of it. And I think
Good job by Lizzo.
Good. What's up, man?
Good job
Yes,
by
good
Lizzo.
job by Lizzo, Ramel. Let's stop there. Yes,
Good job by Lizzo.
Yeah.
Good job by Lizzo.
What's up, man?
Anyway, so
No, how about we not?
No,
step
we're not
into
gonna-
that
we're not gonna
because
step
Ramel
into that.
wants to be a dick.
Wow. I like.
What happened?
Lizzo's in the movie, and she's she does a great job. She just gets up there and she does a little bit of dancing, and good for her. That's that. The movie.
Anyway, and then
The movie, like I
Look.
said before, it takes a turn right after the Usher scene.
Yes.
Because then it gets kind of like sad because the stripper thing like ends. None of them can be strippers. The people aren't, these Wall
Coming
Street
to the
guys
club,
aren't
yeah.
going to the club. So they have to think of ways to get out of this slump. And that's when, like, over time, obviously
she has a kid.
Right. She
J
has a
Lo's
kid.
working at Old Navy.
Right.
Progress to prostitution. That's
No.
usually.
all right, so no, that's
Close.
no. He's touching a very.
Close.
It does it, but that's a. Andres, our very special guest host, is touching on something that I really liked about this movie was, and I'll probably enjoy it more the second time I see it because as I was watching it, I was very anxious because there's so many obvious traps to fall into. What Andres just said is one of them. It's all right at any moment now because they're struggling, they're going to become prostitutes. Like they're going to have sex for money,
Right.
Or
Progression for most cases. Yes.
all right, but instead of doing it that way, which is so fucking tired and so said and done, and also there was no slut shaming in the movie, which also would have been super fucking easy. It would have been so easy for Destiny's grandmother to be like, I don't agree with how you're making the money and blah blah blah. To have that one toe character, to make it like that like there's so many easy traps in the movie, so that they could have fallen into. I think they benefited from the fact that with a female director, which I found out afterwards after seeing the movie.
Right.
I think that's honestly how you were able to avoid it. Because I think if you had, there would have been the prostitution thing. There was also no sexual violence, which you would have expected from maybe a movie about prostitutes doing some illegal shit.
Right.
There was no. It just didn't fall into the common things that you would see, especially with Ramona and Destiny's relationship. I was anxious because I thought, okay, look, they're best friends. They have each other's backs. This is probably going to turn into one backstabs the other, and it turns into like a turf thing, or it turns into some real like shitty like animosity stuff, which is easy to do with female characters. And instead, even though there were dips and there were problems and conflicts between the two of them, it kind of all comes to a head at the end of the movie with after they get out of jail, and Destiny's like, I took the deal.
Yes.
And then Ramona gets really pissed about that.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, is this where it gets ugly? But instead, what she does is, as a mother, back to her line earlier in the film where she's like, motherhood's a mental illness.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She understands it, she accepts it, and she respects it. The end. Like,
Right.
she knows what she had to do. She knows
Even
why
though she was
did it.
as angry as she was at her for snitching, not
Right.
snitching, but taking the deal.
Taking the deal and like fucking everything up.
yeah.
It's like there's such a, even in her rage, an acceptance of responsibility.
Right.
And I'm like, God, thank Lord they're giving women these kind of roles and like that they're able to do this. And again, I think only would have been able to be done with the female director that they had. This was
Right.
very much directed by a
female?
woman. Like I really felt that by the end, because as I'm watching the whole thing,
Right.
there were so many easy holes to fall into, and that being one of them that we didn't even notice. It's a movie sold as strippers.
Yeah.
There's only one strip scene in the whole fucking
No,
movie.
no. I mean, it's you wouldn't know that. Like, I mean, this is nothing. Like, if you're expecting the movie to be like striptease,
Yes.
it's not that at all.
And that's something I was going to bring up. It's like, so when I got into the theater,
Yeah.
because I saw it yesterday when you guys saw it the other day, I walked in there and there was two groups of people that were at this movie.
Yeah,
A bunch of girls and their friends.
yeah,
And then just solo guys. So
Ew.
dead ass.
yeah.
So
sad.
in front of me was one guy, and it was
You were one of the solo guys.
I was one of the solo guys.
Okay,
yeah.
it's all right.
So in the theater,
Yeah.
in the theater, there was one of those just solo seats, and there was a dude there, and you could tell what he was in for. Like you could tell why he went there.
He went there for you.
So,
yeah, of
so
course.
like he's sitting there, he's got his popcorn, he's having a good time. As soon as he realizes that this movie isn't just all strippers and
yeah.
stuff, I swear I heard him utter bullshit, and he gets up and walks out. He didn't return for the rest of the film.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, I'm
like
not
I think
surprised.
guys
Yeah.
were literally going there to
see stripper
the
movies.
stripper
Right.
film.
Yeah,
A guy fell asleep in ours.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, like,
A guy was snoring
Yes.
through our
we didn't
theater.
we didn't get a stripper film. We got a pretty solid crime drama out of this
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it was entertaining. It was a good con.
I
Well,
I
it was-
agree.
I like it. I liked the crime aspect of
Yeah.
it. I wish there was, and I know Gab disagrees with me here, but I wish that there was a bad guy, not
Right.
just like they're doing crime and then like oopsie daisies, they're all friends. Who cares?
Right.
It's just like I wish that there was like one person that like fucked them all over. Like that would have been more fun.
I still think. Well, yeah, that
Fucking
bitch,
Janet, man.
the redhead,
Like J Lo was borderline that.
Well,
but
because what's her face is playing her off. Destiny's like playing her off. Like during the
That's what
interview,
I'm
like
saying.
she's like some like
during the
terrible
interview,
person.
she's hyping this up as like J-Lo's a piece of shit. She fucked me over, all this bullshit. But then in the end, it really wasn't that big a
No,
deal
at all.
And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, come
Constance, what
on,
are you
man.
Actually,
That disappointed
No,
me a
you're
little
probably right because I think it was that hyping up and the alluding in the interview with Julia
That's what
Stiles that
got
made
me-
me
yes.
anxious through the
Like,
movie.
what's gonna
Correct.
happen?
Was because I was seeing their really good relationship and I was like, I don't want to see that turn to like ass. Like,
Yeah.
why are you gonna do that?
And then turns out it was what like they had one fight with the cell phone, and like that was it.
And
It's
that
like
was it. You're
you
right.
were pissed off about that dumbass
No,
shit.
I
Like,
completely agree with you. Yeah, that was a bad amped up thing.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that I needed the villain. I just didn't need that hyped up the way that it
Correct.
was.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing I took away from this movie, leaving it that I really appreciate and made me reflect a little bit in the times we're living in, is that we have actually kind of taken a shit on hustle culture. And
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
now it's more about you have to have it's better to have a perfect job it's better to have no job than a non-perfect one.
right.
It's like no one wants to be caught in the hustle. No one wants to be seen doing what needs to be done in order to
Right.
make the money and to like
When in
keep a
in
roof
like
over your
in
head
like the
and do what you gotta
90s,
do.
early 2000s, like
That it
you
was
were
respected.
a hustler.
You were a hustler.
is
Do
like,
what you have
you're
to do
doing
to
what
make
you
your
gotta do.
money.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching this movie and again this movie
Everyone
takes
only
place
wants
in
to see-
starts in 2007.
Everyone only wants to see the influencer when they're already an influencer.
When they're already
Right.
yes,
Nobody
one wants to see it
the
when they're
person
trying to
when
make
they're
it happen.
becoming that.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
one wants to see or interact with. When someone says, "My dream is to be this," that's when you get the, "Oh, that's cute."
Which is toxic because then people that are regular people hate their lives because they're not those things.
They're not those things.
And they need to work to get to those things, but they don't see the work. They only see the final destination.
or they don't want to do the work because the work isn't pretty or
Yeah.
cute or attractive
Yeah.
or sells.
Right.
And so something that I really appreciate about the movie was, and JLo has a line, I'm gonna botch it, but she says like, "It's not like before. Like everyone got fucked by what happened, and
Right.
we all got to do what we have to do to make the to survive."
Yep.
Right.
And though this is through the lens of former strippers, I'm like, we all did. Everyone did in
Yeah.
2008. Like that was a very big reality.
Everyone got fucked. Everyone
And
got fucked.
Absolutely.
the truth is that even though it's been 11 years, like shit ain't great, y'all. So
I mean, it's definitely better, but
it's better,
great.
but we've stepped with Instagram and social media and the rise of
I
the
think
internet.
the issue now isn't money. The issue now is society, like through the social.
Well, no one wants to
through
be
the social
no one.
shit.
No one, yeah, no one wants to be seen in the hustle, and I appreciate someone. This movie didn't romanticize the hustle, but what it did was say that there's nothing wrong with doing what you got to do.
Do
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, do
And
what you gotta
that's
do.
what I really appreciate about the movie because they weren't. Does it make like say like, oh man, strippers, it's a great life? Like, no, it doesn't do that
Right.
at all. But it's just like look at your circumstances, and you have to do honestly what you have to do to fucking make ends meet.
I think that's one of the points I think Destiny made when she was talking to Julia Stiles about like what her parents did for a living and like what school she went to and
Oh yeah.
what
yeah.
she would do for $1,000. And it's basically like you can't like it.
Yeah, I
it,
remember
it,
that.
it
Right.
depends on
The person, what their situation
What
is,
your
who they
situation is
are,
and what
with
you're going through,
family.
so-
Yeah.
what they need, like what it is that you
Yeah.
don't have, or what it is that you need, and what you're willing
Willing
to
to do
like,
for it,
for
yeah.
What are you willing to do for $1,000?
And then it also goes to JLo, the last line of the movie, which as soon as she said,
That
I
was
was
a
like, end
great
the movie
line.
right now
Yeah,
because
that
it was
was
so
a
good. Where
a
she was
solid
like,
line.
this city, no, this whole country is just a strip club.
Yeah,
some people
true.
are throwing the money, and the rest are just doing the dance.
Yeah,
And I was like,
Yeah, that's it.
end
Yeah,
the
that was
movie
perfect.
now. That's how you have to end it.
What are your scores?
Shit, what did I give this on the site? I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 because again, it was. I agree. The first third
Yeah.
was so much
So
fucking
good, yeah.
fun.
It was a lot of fun, wasn't
And
it?
then the second 2/3 that they weren't
Right.
bad, and I appreciate what it did, and it still stayed funny. But God, that first third
Yeah.
was just fucking perfect.
I give it a 3 for J-Lo, for some of the comedy in it, for the crime aspect. They lost me in like some of the scenes were way too slow towards the middle and the end, especially the ones with Constance Wu in like the interview. They were just so quiet and slow that I felt myself like, how long is this shit gonna be?
Yeah, I checked my watch a few times, actually.
And yeah, just the same thing that Gab said. Like the movie it peaked after the first third.
Yeah.
And then like it just kind of gradually went down. It was still good, but it just gradually went down. But yeah, a 3 out of 5. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 also.
Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much touched on everything that I
Right.
had an issue with. There was a little bit in the downtime in the middle. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
we don't need this.
Okay, so where do you want? We can go next. Did you see Righteous
Righteous Gemstone.
Yes.
Righteous Gemstones episode 1?
I was gonna text you guys about that today.
So
How
you
much
saw
fun is
you
that
saw
fucking
episode
show?
1, right?
Yes, this is a brilliant premise. For
So,
a film.
okay,
Or
so
for a show.
HBO just keeps giving Danny McBride shows.
Just keep-
They just
honestly,
keep
doing
feeding
it.
him shows, and I as long as he keeps creating hilarious shit like this, I'm all for it. If he has a new show every year, I don't give a fuck. But this show is absolutely hilarious. Gab had no idea what it was. I started playing it, and he comes in like the middle of the first episode, and it just starts dying laughing, and we're like, okay, we're gonna keep this going.
I think I came just when he's about to go. Well, they're about to. Yeah, I came just when they were about to go meet
Meet up with the money.
for
Yeah,
the
the
money.
money
yeah,
thing.
and
So,
that's where the shit just takes
like,
a turn.
everything
and I
just
laugh
takes
my
a turn.
goddamn ass off.
And like so basically what this show is this very wealthy religious family of priests basically.
Yeah,
Just preachers. They're
televan-
basically
preachers. They're preachers.
televangelists.
Televangelists, like the Joel,
But they're like
Joel
the Joel Osteen where like
type
they do these
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if you forgot Anders was here, yeah, he's
correct.
here.
He's still here.
kinda-
He's still on the couch
kinda-
taking it.
So they basically it's the father from Roseanne. What's his name?
Flintstones? Oh, I was gonna say the Flintstones.
Yeah, Flintstones too. That works.
It was
What's his
John
name?
Goodman.
John Goodman is the father.
Real
who is
quick.
yeah, go ahead.
I thought I was gonna hate this because I don't like
Right.
John Goodman.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why I don't like John Goodman. I have no reason for it. I
The
think it's-
only reason why I don't like John Goodman is because of Roseanne.
I've never
I
seen an
hated the show
episode
Roseanne.
of Roseanne, but I'm pretty sure I hate that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awful. I hate the show. But
Everyone was wearing
but-
plaid. There's a lot of
yeah,
Not a fan of it.
but he's
But he's great in
phenomenal.
this.
He's
Oh, yeah.
phenomenal. He's basically the main televangelist.
he's like
He's
the
the
father.
father.
He's the father.
yeah.
He's the one that like started
the
this
whole
company from
With his
scratch
wife.
with his wife.
Yeah.
The premise is the
Jesus. The hell?
That's a good drop.
yeah. The mother dies.
Oh.
The mother dies like before the show starts. So it's basically the show. It's about him and his 3 kids, 2 sons, 1 daughter. Danny McBride is one of the sons. The other guy,
Adam
from
Devine.
Adam Devine is the other
I
son.
was gonna say he literally plays the same fucking
Same
role
guy.
in everything, and he's amazing.
But he's hilarious at it. The girl who's the daughter
So funny.
is the same
Oh, she's
girl
great.
from Vice Principals, because Danny McBride again, he's one of these guys that likes to use the same people.
I like that. Keep reusing
Yeah.
people you have a good relationship with.
And that's just it's basically about the life of this family, and they're these super wealthy. They basically it's making fun of, and it's a satirical look at
right.
those
Televangelism.
yeah, that lifestyle of those guys that they perform these
Televised church sermons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sermons and stuff. Exactly.
Yeah. And holy shit, it's absolutely hysterical. And in this show, the son gets basically blackmailed. Danny McBride gets blackmailed with a video of him doing something that he shouldn't be doing. And
Especially, yeah,
they
as a-
try to basically blackmail him into giving him to giving them like
was $1 million
$2 million,
bucks.
something like that. And then after, in the first episode, everything takes this crazy turn for the worst, and it's hilarious.
It's so funny. It's just the funniest fucking show.
Are you guys like in like?
We're caught up.
Oh, you're already
Yeah,
caught up.
we're
All right,
caught up.
I'm going to be doing
So
that.
this
So-
But
this
because
past
I
Sunday was
with-
episode 4.
But because I
think.
withdraw, I've never seen Vice Principals either.
Yes.
so now you have to jump into that.
So now I'm watching Vice Principals, and
Yeah.
Lee.
He had never seen Vice Principal, so I'm
I don't know what
watching
the
it with
actor's
him.
name is, but the one who plays the brother.
Wiggins, something.
He plays
Wogans
Lee
or Wiggins.
Lee.
He plays Lee in Vice Principals, but he's also in Righteous Gemstones.
He's also
Right.
he's also in
He's
Righteous
the
Gemstones.
uncle in Righteous Gemstones.
God,
he's
which is
hysterical.
there. He plays the same character in both, essentially.
Yes, the funny Southern guy, basically.
Guy who's
yeah,
with
yeah.
a plot.
Walton,
Who has a
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins.
Goggins, yeah.
That's him. Yes.
He has a plot in every fucking
Yeah.
show he's in, and it's just so funny. I like him so much in Vice Principals because he plays like this flamboyant
Yep.
psychopath,
Yeah.
Yes.
but he doesn't make the obvious choices with
Yes.
being flamboyant. There's very subtle leg movements and
Yes,
hand
yes,
movements and
yes.
his shoulders and his body language. It could have been so easy for him to do like the flick of the wrist and all
yeah,
that
no,
stuff,
right. Totally.
but he doesn't. It's
Yeah.
so
It's specific
subtle.
things,
It's such
yeah.
so specific, and he just does it so well.
He's a really good actor. Like in
Yeah.
And I'm surprised because like when I first saw him, he was in Django, and he was like that prick like
oh yeah, you're right.
like
he was in
ranch
Django,
hand or whatever.
yes.
Yeah, and he was a fucking asshole. But
Yeah,
like seeing
yeah,
him
yeah.
in this,
Yeah,
this guy's
it's
pretty
hilarious.
good.
He always plays an asshole. Then that's his like thing.
I
his
mean,
thing.
he's just good at being this like this guy that's an asshole, but is trying to play the non-asshole role.
Right.
Oh, so Andre.
It's like
So
an
Andres.
Andres thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
No, you good. You good.
No, you're fine. Please. by all
So
means.
basically, yeah. I mean, we're gonna keep watching this, and we'll get Fico caught up this
Yeah,
week,
I'll be caught up.
and then that
So
way
funny,
by
please
next
watch
week
it.
we'll have we'll be caught up, and we'll talk about like the most recent episode. But I want to at least bring that up
Yeah.
so we could like discuss that we're
if
watching.
y'all
it.
have not checked that out, definitely
Yeah,
get on the
please,
HBO.
please
for
watch that. No more reviews,
Right,
but we do have a lot more to talk about.
we do.
Yeah,
plenty more.
Oh dear.
I would
Full
like to before we get into
There can be a
the
number 0 in baseball.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we get into the streaming war section. Before we get into the streaming war section of the podcast or the trailer section, we're going to get into something that not many people know about, but there are leaks of the Joker movie. Not the full movie, but there's scenes.
Yeah.
And
These
we
things are
here at
heavy.
the 17 Waverly podcast decided that we are going to indulge in the leaks, the leak viewing, and we saw one.
Well, because we spoil so many things.
Because we
for
do-
other
yeah, we
people.
do. We
Might as well
spoil
do it
so
to
many
We
things.
should
So
ourselves.
might as
spoil
well do
things
it
before
yes.
they're even out.
Exactly.
I think
So
that's
that's
the
what we're
next
gonna
step.
do.
Let's do that.
So,
So open your ears.
Do we want to talk about the scene itself, or do we want to say what happens in the scene, or do we want
Let's
to talk
not
about
get-
what
Let's
it
try.
is?
Do we want to, I thought we said we were going to try to avoid.
Let's
Yeah,
try
let's
to
avoid-
not.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
try not to give.
We're
away
not
the
going to
big
succeed,
payoff.
but
Yeah.
like we can at least try.
Let's try to not give away the big payoff.
in this scene, all I really want to talk about really is the takeaway from this, which to me is, holy fuck, this movie is going to be a lot darker and a lot more polarizing than I thought. And I know that from the reviews, that the early reviews that were coming in from like Sundance and all that shit, the Venice Film Festival.
yeah.
Because Gab was reading, you were reading them to us and telling us that all what they were saying, and that it's touching too close to home, with
And
like
that was
the gun
before I
control
saw
and
the
stuff.
clips.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all
So
makes sense.
that's why I was taking that with a grain of salt, because we are in an overly sensitive
exactly.
time.
The society is just so sensitive.
So I wasn't like, it's probably not going to be that bad, whatever. This particular scene, I'm watching it and I'm seeing Joaquin Phoenix and his movements and his mannerisms and the way that he's saying the words that he's saying, and then ultimately his action in the scene. And I'm like, yeah, this could be. I mean, there's a reason why people were saying these things. And I believe it now,
Yeah.
and I understand it now.
Definitely got the
and I
affirmation.
understand for sure that this is a movie that maybe not everybody should see.
100%. This movie is gonna like put ideas in people's heads.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's
I mean, there's always going to be ideas. Like people, I mean, people just watch the news and they're going to get ideas.
look,
Yeah, that's true.
I think my thing with when I read the reviews, I already kind of had from the film festival. I had an idea that this was where it was going to go. We obviously didn't get the confirmation until I saw those two
Right.
scenes. More the talk show scene than the apartment scene.
The apartment
the
scene.
apartment scene has its
Correct.
thing.
The only thing we'll say is just we're talking about a scene where Joker is
On a talk
the
show.
talk show with Robert De Niro. That's
Yeah,
it.
There's
And
that
he's
scene.
he's giving this like little speech.
He's having
on
a
the-
conversation, if
correct.
you will. The thing about it is, and it kind of enters into a bigger conversation about art and like this platform, right? It's about,
Right.
I think I said it when we were texting about it. Like, the context of art is influenced also by the time of its birth. Like
Yeah.
when it comes into fruition, like that has a big influence over how relevant it's going to be.
Right.
And the thing about the Joker movie is, from that clip alone, again, it's a whole movie, so it's not fair to me to say that the whole movie is like this. I'm sure it is, but you can't really say it until you see it. But from that one clip, I'm like, this is extremely, I wouldn't say on the nose, but cutting the vein of a very big problem that we have right now culturally. Have you seen it?
No, what you just described, cutting the vein.
Okay.
oh yeah,
Right.
Oh God, there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I'm like, is it the movie? Is it the creative person behind? Is it the creative person behind the movie's responsibility to think about the consequences of making something like this? Is it just make the art that you want to make, and then it's for the madness of society to decide how it's going to internalize it or dismiss it? Is it? But this is also making me think about that I just saw a tweet today about some fashion designer who made high school sweaters for where there were school shootings with holes in them, and like did like Columbine and all stuff, like, and did a
Jesus.
fashion show on that. So I'm like, you
So
don't
wait, so each bullet hole was a school shooting?
no. It was
Because I think that's a good idea.
Was it
no,
like a school?
God damn it. No, it was a line. It was a line, like there was a Columbine sweater. There was a.
So it's almost like a Letterman jacket, like Columbine.
It says
with
Columbine
right,
with bullet
right.
holes in it. Then it was the school from where the little kids were killed, and that has bullet holes in it.
okay.
I mean,
if
Sandy,
that's-
it
if
says
that's-
Sandy Hook, and it has
Was that supposed to be
Yes.
like okay?
Like to raise
To raise
exact-
awareness, yes. correct.
I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no to that because I actually don't know. I'm not going to put
Oh.
a misnomer. You looked it up?
Okay.
Are you sure? Oh, all right.
Okay, we'll
hanging
go
indoors.
we'll go on the word of the guest.
In case anyone's wondering, I don't really trust Andres on the regular, so forgive the hesitation in my
yeah.
voice. But in terms of art, God, it wasn't. In terms of just what that does, regardless of the intention of the artist, my takeaway of it is a fashion designer did hoodies from school shootings with bullet holes in it, and if we're gonna get mad at the artist, why aren't we gonna get mad at the policies that allow those things to happen?
Correct.
So like that's my personal takeaway
Yeah.
from it. I don't know what my personal takeaway will be from the Joker movie. I'm just scared to see that on opening night, and I'd rather not. I already personally don't really see movies at opening nights, and if see them opening days, I try to see them in the morning because I know no one will be there.
Yeah.
Because I did develop a really strong anxiety after some like that there were multiple shootings like at movie theaters,
Right.
especially during opening weekends.
Yeah.
So
But that was during the
During
Batman, the
In
other Joker
2012.
one, right?
Yeah.
No,
that was the Bane
that
one.
was in.
Oh, it was the
that
Bane
was in
one.
2012.
Yeah.
But it
And
also
The Streak
happened
Lives
during
with
Amy
Batman.
Schumer's movie Trainwreck. Like there was a shooting during a screening of that. So I just don't like to be in a place where there's I can't access the exit.
Sure.
Really quick. So for me, I remember when we went to go see Justice League. And I never told you this. Like we went to go see Justice League opening night, and before the movie started, I was legit like having a panic attack because it was a stuffed theater, and I'm like, I actually can't access the exit right now. And this is an opening night.
Come on, man.
But it's a legitimate thing. We're living in a time where like a shooting could happen literally anywhere and everywhere, and they're happening more frequently. My thing with the Joker material is that I'm like, in that one scene that we're not going to give too much details about, there does seem, I'm not saying it gives permission, but it's touching something very real that's happening, I think, in the minds of a lot of people, a lot of frustrated, angry, bitter people,
Right.
and I'm curious to what a social reaction will be to a film like that.
Yeah,
but you can't filter artists. You can't do that. So
No, you can't tell somebody you can't make a movie.
yeah, if
Like
that's
that's like
the-
telling me you can't paint that.
I will say I agree with you based off Joaquin's performance and just that scene. I'm like, holy shit, this is the fucking Joker.
Yeah.
And probably, may he rest in peace and no disrespect, maybe even a more accurate version than Heath Ledger's, and
Yeah.
only for this reason. Heath Ledger's was PG-13. This one's rated R,
Yeah,
which
you're
means
gonna get-
Joaquin Phoenix has way more freedom,
Correct.
to do
Yes.
and interpret what he wants for like if you read the comics and you've gotten like good Joker
Yeah.
stories. This dude does not play by PG-13. This
Right.
dude, this guy
Yeah.
does whatever
Whatever
the
hell he
fuck
wants.
he wants.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna get the real disturbance of who he is,
Right.
you can only get that at rated R. You can't
Yes.
do that at
Correct.
PG-13.
You're right. Yeah.
Even though Heath did such an amazing job, like that one scene, I'm like, holy fuck, this is it. This is him.
Yeah. I was gonna say because if we're gonna again we talk about the bad, but we got to also talk about the good and the performance of Joaquin in just
What
those
he's doing.
30
I would say-
seconds.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy
Yo,
shit.
But this also could suffer. I'm also worried this could suffer a little bit of Batman Forever, Batman and Robin syndrome, where they only suit up at the very end. Because how long is he Joker?
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Is
Yeah,
he
fair point.
his normal self the whole movie? And that scene that
I think it's gonna probably be like a 2/3 of the movie is the first third is him by himself. The second third is him transitioning to become that, and the last third is him
it's
with
just
all
full
Joker.
like
on
that's
lifting
my
it.
that's my it,
That's
will
probably
it
what
do
it's gonna
that
be, yeah.
format which we've seen and done before. Like that's my like well that's
I don't.
Aquaman,
I mean,
Aquaman kind of did. It
I don't
too.
need.
He's
I
only-
don't need to see him be Joker the entire movie.
I don't either, but I'm
Like,
like
I-
but
it's-
there's a difference between being the entire movie, which is one polar opposite side, just the climax of the movie, and then that sweet spot in the middle where you get enough of the character to in the film that it all comes full circle.
Right.
Because if you only do that climax version, which we've seen before,
Yeah.
the only example that fucking comes to mind right now is that goddamn Power Rangers movie of 2017. That they were basically just kids for the whole goddamn
Yeah,
movie.
it's so
and then
stupid, so
just for the
stupid.
climax, they're Power Rangers.
So
and it turns,
stupid.
And it's so bad, and it turns so corny. Like,
I'm pretty sure Andres loved that movie. Did you see that movie? Of course.
I enjoyed it when they were normal. Not when they were Power Rangers. Then it just turned really garbage. But but that's what I mean.
Wait,
where-
Andres, talking to your mic again? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's still here. And that's my only thing. I'm like, I'm wondering where's the sweet spot with this movie, but that's really not my concern. My concern is how fucking disturbed are we going to be when we leave? Because a lot of the
that's what I'm
reviewers
waiting
and
for.
like nerds that I respect that I follow on Twitter and like work for like Collider and stuff like
Right.
that, some of them would tweet like, I don't know how to feel. I just need a minute. Like I just need a night. I need a day. They're like it wasn't
can't
bad. It
wait.
wasn't
I can't
bad. I just
fucking
need
wait,
some
dude.
time.
I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, I'm
we got.
still-
Well, I think we're like what 2 weeks away.
It comes
Yeah.
out October 4th. So I
Fourth,
think
yeah.
Yeah.
trying to
I'm
get-
gonna see. I'm gonna
Trying to get
so
advanced screening
They're
tickets.
still not available.
MC calls.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, we're excited for it, but we gotta wait. But we will definitely check back in once we do see it. Andres will be in attendance for that one.
Live.
Okay, so let's move on to one of my favorite sections of the podcast, the streaming wars section.
here we go.
Streaming wars. It's
It's become one because of just the constant drops of new information.
We're waiting for the D-Day when all these fucking things go live.
Yeah. So as of recent announcements, NBC. So I know we were talking about before.
Peacock.
Yeah. So they announced Peacock.
Peacock, yeah.
They are officially in the streaming service war now with their own service called
they're not.
Peacock.
I'm saying just because you're making a streaming service does not mean you're in the war.
They're all in the war, Gab. It's no one knows what each one of these big companies, other than the ones that are already here, what they're gonna be like.
What they're
Well,
gonna roll
here's
out
my
there.
thing. NBC
So-
owned Friends and some of those hit shows.
Yes.
Are they keeping it?
Yes.
Or are they? So they're not. NBC isn't giving it to
NBC is keeping. The only thing one that they're not bringing back is Friends. because HBO bought the rights for that for Friends for $500 million.
Idiots.
God damn.
So NBC's coming out with Peacock. It's going to be
All their shit.
about 15,000 hours of content.
God damn it.
Right off the bat?
Right off the bat. But it's like obviously it's a lot of stuff that we've already seen. It's just all their all
Yeah.
of NBC's old shows. They are, and remember that they're also part of Universal. So all of Universal's movies. So any Universal movie is also going to be on this.
Poor Universal. They could never get that dark.
And
Universal
they will, and then they're going to obviously start rebooting a bunch of shit. They're rebooting Saved by the Bell.
Right. Very psyched about that.
Oh, that's a
and
fact. They're
They're
definitely
That's happening.
rebooting
They're
Saved by the
rebooting
Bell.
Saved by
Yes.
the Bell. Yeah, I saw
Jesse-
that 90210 bullshit.
Yeah.
They were like, hold my drink.
Jesse, it's going to be based off of Jesse and
Kelly
AC
Kapowski.
Slater.
Oh, wait, Jesse.
Jesse and AC Slater. And
Oh,
they
I thought he was.
because they, I think, get married and have kids, or it's them two's kids separately. I don't know which one it is.
And Slater is still the most famous one out of the whole cast.
Yeah, so like apparently it's going to be them as parents with their kids, and then the kids are growing up going to the school. And what's the premise is that it's Bayside High still,
Of course.
but Zach Morris became the governor or the mayor or whatever. So and he starts cutting public schools because they're eating out of the budget. So he made all the shitty public schools. He made all the kids from those schools go to the better quality schools like Bayside High. So the whole plot of this in the high school is these like poor urban kids are being injected into Bayside High with these like uppity.
That sounds a little elite.
No, it sounds a little Riverdale.
Yeah, I mean some bullshit like that. Like it's something
Wait,
like
but
that.
is it going to be a comedy or like a teen drama?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I have no
God.
idea. So that's what they're doing.
They need Screech in the sex tape.
God damn.
Yeah, I mean, so I
Aren't
don't.
they trying to get him to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're trying to get all of them to come back. We already know for a fact that they're going to probably get Zach Morris to come back to be his like crazy.
Oh, that whole cast would be like, sure, of course we're going to come back.
Yeah, what the fuck else are they doing?
I know. But what is
I don't know.
with
She's got
like
like a
this?
Food Network show.
Well, she's about to have to be
Yeah.
saved by the bell
Cooking
again.
with Amber or some
She's
shit.
like,
So they're doing that.
keep the same theme song or else.
They are trying to reboot The Office as well.
Saw that.
Probably going to happen. I will probably watch it because obviously I have to watch it, but I'm not going to be happy about it if it doesn't have at least like 75% of the old cast.
Look, I'm also kind of, to be honest, I still haven't seen a reboot where I'm like super excited about.
Agreed.
Agreed. I've seen.
The Office,
Here we go.
Here,
Here we go.
like, it's good.
I personally wasn't a fan of The Office or Friends, so
I mean, it is what it is. Everyone has their.
I mean, look, but as I'm saying it right now, like if The Office gets a reboot, woo! It's just
like,
not,
well, I'll watch it, but
I'll
like, I'm
watch
not
it.
going to be happy about
I
it.
can't. I'm trying to think like what is a reboot that they could announce in this reboot culture that would make me go like, fuck yeah!
Kenan and Kel.
That one, yes.
That'll
it
work.
Kenan
would.
and Kel's the only one.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Jesus.
God,
God
fucking
damn it. No.
Christ.
No. When was the last time you saw TV? 1993.
But like,
This is why gringos hate us.
that was my favorite cartoon.
I loved
They've-
that cartoon.
they've
But
literally brought back
Come on,
like
man.
every cartoon that I've liked when I was a kid, and they've fucking failed me.
Rocco's is awful. Rocco's
Garbage.
Modern Life is awful.
We have to
This-
watch that Hey
new-
Arnold.
that
We have
new
to watch
movie,
the Hey Arnold movie.
Wait,
where
Rocco's Modern Life came back?
They
you guys
brought
watch it?
they brought a.
Fucking terrible.
I thought you
It's
guys
a-
watched it together. It was
No,
like-
I watched it, and
Oh,
it was
God.
awful.
I watched it with Rom.
It's a 45-minute movie that they
It
added.
is so bad.
It's
Why-
so
Why
bad.
the fuck are you touching Rocco's Modern Life? They're
Why the
so
hell did they make
Doug.
a movie out of
Really,
Rise of the Hidden
Doug.
Temple, man? They just do this stupid shit.
Apparently, Dora did fucking really well.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, really?
It did
Oh,
really
It's a
well.
movie, Dora. That's
Dora,
a movie.
which I feel really bad that I didn't go see to support a fellow Latinos.
That's
I felt
very
like
true,
an
but,
asshole
you know,
not doing
whatever.
That, but
We'll watch it when it's on the screen.
especially with my MC Stubbs pass.
Well,
I
I said it.
$24.99
I said it.
Sorry, it was right there. I had to take the shot. I had to do it.
So we've got Peacock coming up. What was I going to say? Oh, the other thing I want to talk about There's little things like HBO did buy the rights for HBO Max is going to have The Big Bang Theory, which I know it's just it's
Cool.
a show.
It's a
But the important thing here is that they paid billions of dollars for this show.
ew.
That show's really worth that much?
billions with an S.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that watch
It's
that show.
like they bought
I know.
that's
I know
insane.
globally it's a big hit in South America.
I
It's
love it.
huge.
I think it's hilarious.
Bazinga, man.
But wow, so that's
see what
big.
you did there.
That's a
That's
big win for HBO. Netflix bought the rights for Seinfeld
That's
from Hulu.
That's big for them. That's good for them.
That's big for them. That was about $500 million.
Guys, I'm sorry. This looks like there's about to be a blizzard, and everyone's trying to get the last bread and milk at the
Of
supermarket.
course,
This
of
is
exactly.
so-
It's a fucking
this is
arms
so
race,
They're
man.
stupid.
all of these streaming companies
They're loading
are
up.
in the supermarket and they're just going like
It
fucking.
is exactly. It's an episode of Supermarket
Yes,
Sweep. And
correct.
they're going after the turkey and the hams.
And there's some of these where I'm like, are you a kid? Like what?
Well, you said like
That tweet that I read earlier was very true. They're like, this is just like a new form of cable. Like, who
Yeah,
the
of
fuck
course.
is going to pay for all of these apps? Not my ass.
What are your thoughts on Trace? I saw you say that it was stupid.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Do you want to?
Can you elaborate?
The market is like $129 billion for streaming services right now,
Yeah, it's absurd.
which Netflix I think took $16 billion themselves last year.
Yeah,
And I mean, if you're just gonna keep throwing on like old shows that people have already watched and not really create new ones, like you're eventually gonna end up losing. Which is why I think Netflix is, they're gonna take a hit, but I think eventually they're still gonna be top dog.
yeah, but you understand that
Disney-
all these other companies are also doing their own shows,
like Disney
brand
Plus
new
has,
ones.
Yeah,
Disney Plus is coming out with some
Disney Plus
shit.
legit has an arsenal
what
ready
Netflix
to
has. What
go.
Netflix has, yes, Netflix will not. I mean, they're not going to die, and they have enough substance and enough of a base that they're going to be around for a long, long time.
Well, look, the Irishman movie is gonna fucking
Yeah,
rake.
yeah.
That'll help
Well,
them
the
out a
one
lot.
thing that Netflix does or has that I read that the other ones won't really do is the passport sharing, because apparently the other ones will be a lot more restrictive.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they will.
People can actually stream from one single account, and Netflix doesn't give a fuck. And also,
Yeah. Hulu doesn't either.
Make it easiest to create your password.
Right.
So that's another thing that most people won't even think about. But when it comes to it, there's so many passwords for so many different things.
Yep.
The easier thing is always going to win.
Right.
And they keep coming out with great shows in all languages.
Right.
Right.
I mean, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what the fuck is going to happen. I read an article today that it's basically like the Wild Wild West. It's going to be like the Wild Wild West, where everyone's just going to walk out into the middle of the courtyard and just like pop their guns out and
Yeah.
just see who the fuck is gonna shoot first and like.
I think
Look-
it becomes difficult when, at least for known established properties, Disney owns so many of them.
Yeah.
Thus, they're getting all of the revenue from that. I mean, just
Right.
the trailer to The Mandalorian, because it's not just quantity, it's also quality.
Yeah.
And the fact that if Disney Plus is going to be making films and television shows
Right.
that look like they're for theaters,
Correct.
then not only is that a big competition on television, what the
Right.
fuck is it going to do to movie theaters? Movies is already a dying thing. Why do you think things like the AMC Stubs Pass exist? Yeah, movie theaters are like, they're struggling to stay alive. That's why
Yeah.
things like Movie Pass, which is now dead, and AMC Stubs
yeah.
Pass, which I have, are things now, because who want, like today, I bought my tickets for Downton Abbey, which is this Friday, for me and my friend.
Yeah.
19 AMC Stubs.
Wow.
$19 for an opening night ticket.
Yeah.
When we were kids, it was like $8-9.
Yeah.
Who
Maybe
wants to
even
pay
less,
$20
not to be
fucking
honest.
And
dollars
so they're
for a
gonna-
movie?
And as long as they keep cranking up the price, oh yeah, of course. You know how many times I've done the buy a ticket, watch a movie, organize yourself along the schedule, and then just move and wait for the
Well,
theater
now
to
with
open
assigned,
for the next one.
But now with assigned
Assigned
seating,
seating, yeah.
it's hard to do.
Oh no, you can just go on the website on the app
and see what's
Look
open.
what seats are
Yeah.
open still, and then just go.
Yeah, you have like up until like 2
Very
minutes before the movie to do
Latino.
that.
Yeah.
We did the one thing where
I don't do that though because I have the AMC pass. so I don't need
Oh,
it.
exactly.
I can just watch the
But
movies.
back when you were a kid, and you had to
Right.
hustle.
This was
because
back in
Yeah.
back in a while ago.
You would
Years
buy
ago.
one ticket, have someone go to the exit door that located in
Yeah,
the back of the theater.
I could spend a whole day. I'd watch 3 movies in one day. Fire.
Oh yeah.
The one thing I did want to talk about, Gab, that was pretty important, is the fact that I didn't know this. I mean, I knew this, but Disney Plus is not doing the rated R thing, which is what I said was
I'm
going to
not
happen.
surprised. No,
And
which
in
is
fact,
the problem with them consuming so
of
much
course.
of the market.
But in fact, they are going to
Shove it all to Hulu.
shove it all to Hulu because they now own 60% of Hulu.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hulu's going to be their bastard
So
kid.
Hulu is going to be their
Bastard child.
their piece of equipment that's going to hold all of their adult shit that they can't post themselves.
God
Right.
damn it. Well, I
So-
mean, that's where the New Mutants is going. That's where
Yeah.
they're going to throw that movie.
I mean, it's the smart idea to do because Hulu is an established site already.
Sure.
So you might as well keep using that. Don't shut it down. Use that and then put all your rated R shit, your
But you can put that stuff
violent
without
stuff.
like the Disney logo
Yeah.
on it.
right.
Yeah.
Also, Apple Plus.
Speaking of Disney logo, they need to bring back the Disney logo that like Lizzie McGuire used to draw with like a
Jesus Christ.
Which one's that one?
You're
The
watching
little,
Disney
like,
Channel.
You're watching
and they
Disney
do a
Channel.
Little
Like,
wand
you weren't a
thing.
big Disney Channel head, so you wouldn't know that.
I was more
Enzo,
of a
what did you do?
I was more of a classic Disney Channel head, like back in the day.
Yeah, he wasn't like the newer Disney
Lizzie
Channel.
McGuire,
Like, when it was
Even
like
Stevens.
when it was like
Yeah,
he wasn't
no.
part
Oh,
of that.
that's being brought back by Disney Plus, by the way.
Wait,
Even
as a
Stevens.
reboot or as like they're gonna put the old show?
They're putting Ren. The girl who played Ren is coming back for an Even Stevens reboot.
Oh yeah, I want the old episodes. I want the original episodes.
Well, they'll be
I'm sure
on,
they will. I'm
that'll
sure
be
they'll
on
be
Disney
on
Plus
there.
too, and Lizzie McGuire's coming back too.
Yeah.
Lizzie McGuire,
Yeah.
Even Stevens, they're coming back.
Keep in mind that she was so hot. I was
No, we
But we were the same age at the time. Yeah, of course. I agree with you.
No
but
one said.
Apple Apple said that they are not.
That's right.
He doesn't want to get canceled this first episode. Apple TV also said that they're aiming their TV shows and movies to not have gratuitous sex, violence,
Well, you're
or
right,
any of
Apple.
those things. So
Unnecessary,
Just,
like
like,
there
unnecessary,
for no reason,
like, yeah,
it's
just,
there
like-
for like to service
like
what people
or
wanna do.
violence, like blood and shit.
Well, you're
So I'm thinking that they're gonna probably.
Oh my god!
I mean, if you're
I'm
not
think-
watching,
I'm
TV
thinking that
for
they're probably going to
sex
go
and
more
violence.
towards like a PG-13ish rating, and not
Fair.
R. I think that to me means that they're not going
For
R
Apple, yeah.
For Apple, these are
Yeah,
these are
kinda-
those are two big things for Disney and Apple to say we're not doing.
This kind of links to me with the same thing. That
It
links
is.
a
It's
little bit
super
to me
lame.
to like what we we're just talking about with Joker. Is about is it art if it's filtered? Is it art if you're putting if you're restricting what the expression that you can put or you can express?
Right.
It's your platform. You can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But then that does though give more power to Netflix.
Right.
If these mega houses
Yeah.
are just going to keep it PG
Right.
and Mickey Mouse,
Correct.
then
Yep.
you get to put the titties and the dicks
Correct.
and the blood
Yep.
and the murder and the curse words and like
Yep.
that should be your
My-
angle because. what else are you gonna do?
Before all of this information, I was like, oh, Netflix better watch out. These big companies are going to come in, but I mean, this is a huge what's the word? This is a big announcement in terms of what these two big companies that are going to be supposed to be competing with Netflix.
right.
I mean, fuck, dude.
I mean,
Disney, I understand because they've
They're
always
Disney.
been a
House
cookie
of
cutter,
Mouse, yeah.
cookie cutter company.
right.
But Apple, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I don't know why they're going
Like,
that angle.
But luckily,
Or look, I also kind of agree, and we forget HBO Max in this whole thing as well.
HBO Max is
they're all about the titties.
yeah.
They're all about the titties.
They're gonna
and
be
blood.
they're gonna be the
So
leaders.
they're gonna have
They'll
their
be
company.
just fine.
I
They'll
actually,
be just
I
fine.
actually do think that the market has enough titty, blood, sex, pussy, money, weed. Like I think it has. I think the market has
Pussy,
enough.
money, weed.
So I think like Apple TV and what's it?
They'll be okay without
They'll
it.
be okay without
Yeah.
it. I think there's enough material. out
I think
there.
eventually Apple will get it though.
I think so too.
I think over time, because I think that what they're trying to probably do is start off to get a bigger audience, and that means not so gratuitous because more people are going to want to see less gratuitous shit.
Yeah.
It's a bigger
I don't
audience.
like gratuitous. Period. If there's a
Yeah, because
reason,
you're a pussy.
no. no is because if there's like a narratively, if it works, okay. The reason why they had to put all those tits and ass in Game of Thrones is because everyone would have been so fucking lost by that plot. They would have given up once, like
That
half
is
the
very
season
true.
in.
That is very true.
So they
Solid
kept
point.
throwing you.
What locked me in at
Were the
first
titties.
was the violence and the sex.
That's it, because that at first episode made no goddamn sense to anyone. But they're like, oh, but the tits were great.
What happened in the first episode?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be super interesting to find out, but we do have some trailers. We have, but we'll do this very quick because we are out of time. Should we save it for next week?
Save it for next week.
Yeah, we got some
Still
stuff to
got
talk about
time.
next week.
Yeah, 'cause
The
next-
Secret Garden trailer is still gonna suck next week, so it doesn't matter.
fair enough.
Yeah, we'll save the trailers for next week because we don't have a lot of time to really cover them.
So
Well,
that's,
we're
our,
leaving
that's,
it-
that's the cliffhanger.
We're leaving
for
them on a
episode
cliffhanger
38.
again.
Yeah, we're leaving you guys on a cliffhanger.
Oh my goodness.
Trailers next week.
Tune in.
Tune in.
We're gonna rip some
Our-
trailer
our
watch.
thoughts. Our thoughts on Secret Garden.
God, that's really gay.
Solid. All right. See you guys next week. End of summer. Goodbye, summer.
Put it to bed.
I don't
baby.
miss
So
you, bye.
sad.
Put it to bed. Fall is
Pumpkin
summer.
candles.
Oh,
all
Jesus.
day. Fall's back.
Peace out, everybody.